for our program. The time was now for us to take that next step, getting Florida basketball back where it belongs. And, being in the Sweet 16 is a great step in the right direction. Incredibly proud of our players, especially, I should say, these two guys next to me, but the whole roster as well. We made winning play after winning play down the stretch in the last 6 minutes, after about 34 minutes of it not looking like it was going to go our way. And, that's the benefit of having three great senior leaders in the backcourt and some young, hungry front court players that'll give it their all to compete on every single play. And it wasn't necessarily pretty for majority of the game for us, but that 8-0 run down the stretch, I think he finished with about 40 seconds, if the stat sheet is right, was huge. And these guys, our players, delivered today.
All right, at this time, we're going to open up the floor for questions for student athletes. Cooper, can we go here in the middle, and then we'll get you two gentlemen?
Yeah, Kevin Brockway from the Gainesville Sun. Walter, can you speak to kind of sticking with it throughout the game and making the shots down the stretch and what you saw in those opportunities, the 2 threes in the final 2 minutes?
Yeah, for sure. My teammates, at the end, just trusted me, with the ball in my hand, to be able to shoot that shot. So I appreciate them for that trust and, just sticking with it, man. We knew this game wasn't going to be easy, and they got championship pedigree, man. They back-to-back champions. That's a great team. So they'd have had that experience, so we knew it wasn't going to be easy. We kept our composure, and this guy right here, especially Five, he kept us together, through the adversity.
Okay, on the edge here, Jaden, please, and then we're there, and there.
Yeah, this is Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. Walter, can you explain what either was up with your game or what they were doing to you that led you to not play at the level that you customarily do and that you then did do down the stretch?
I wouldn't say – I know they was kind of denying me a little bit, but I didn't seen that before. It was more of just kind of a me thing. But I think we seen some things, and my teammates, they did a great job throughout the game, kind of picking up where I was slacking.
Okay, there you go.
Brian Ralph from Heat Check. This is for you, Walter. Just late in the game when you went on the stretch, what's the mindset like when you decide, okay, we need to take these shots, I need to take this game over? What goes into your mindset for that?
Nothing, honestly. I mean, been doing it all year. My teammates, like I said, they give me the ball, they put trust in me, so just to be able to shoot those shots. So just mindset don't really change. Just, got a couple up at the end of the game today.
Okay, we can go second row, then first row.
Brett Friedlander, Saturday Down South. To either of the players, what is a game like this where Coach said it was kind of ugly and it was tough against an opponent that really tested you? What does a game like this do for you moving forward as you play tougher competition?
Will, could you answer that, please?
I mean, UConn's a great program, but a game like that, it definitely lets you know that you're ready to take that next step, like Coach said, as a program and as a team. And it definitely just helps us be better prepared for the next game and stuff like that, just facing adversity through the game and being resilient and bouncing back.
All right, we're on the front row, Jaden, and then right next to him.
Yeah, Edgar Thompson, the Orlando Sentinel. For both the players, were there nervous moments today? And how do you kind of compartmentalize that and stay the course? And what do you kind of lean into there?
Will, could you go first?
I wouldn't say nervous moments, but those moments where we knew we had to lock in and give a little extra because they were on their run and stuff like that, and you got to make plays to stop that. But for us, we just got back to what we were doing, and we have trust in each other. The three senior guards, we have a lot of experience, so we did a great job of trying to keep everybody calm throughout those moments.
Walter, do you have anything to add?
I do not.
Jaden, middle of the front row, and then Cooper, we're on the edge here.
For Fransbury Gator Bait, for both Walter and Will, talk about the defense, how you guys picked up the defensive intensity in those last 5 minutes. I mean, y'all went from playing really good defense to just outstanding defense.
Walter?
Yeah, it took us a little minute to, kind of do what we wanted to do. I think they got some open shots early, and it kind of put us in a little bit of a spiral as players. We was all just trying to help each other out a little bit too much instead of sticking on our assignment. So down the stretch, we ended up getting it figured out. We was communicating a lot better towards the end of the game, and we was able to get some stops.
Will, could you add something?
I do not.
Okay. Let's go on the edge over there.
Will, Chris Harry, FloridaGators.com. You guys missed 12 free throws in the second half alone in basically a 1 or 2 possession game. But then on the misses, Tommy made the tip out. I think Amart had a tip out, or maybe you had the tip out. Just can you take us through that sequence right there? Just, kind of the pressure of missing the free throws, and then what happened after that?
Will, could you answer that?
Yeah, that's just us wanting to win. I mean, to win games like that, you got to make big plays, and we had multiple guys step up. Everybody that was on the court impacted the game and helped us win that game. So I'll just say it goes down to just wanting to win.
Okay, Jaden back on the front row here.
What did Elijah show in the first half? Because it seemed like he was the one guy, man, who just had the right mentality, and he's been like here before. What did he kind of show you guys with that?
Walter?
I think he showed experience. Obviously, he has been here before. But, man, that's just Lodge. You know, we see Lodge every day. We done seen him in multiple games this year, like even when at home the Georgia game when he came out. You know, he's had multiple moments this year. He's done that. So he just did that again today.
All right, let's go second row. Coop, can you get to him?
Yeah, Kevin Brockway from Gainesville Sun. This is the first time since 2017 that a Florida team's going to the Sweet 16. What does it mean to get the program back to that standard?
Will?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, this is why why everybody came here. We wanted to bring Florida back to that national stage and that relevance. So for us, it means a lot. Just playing for that logo and for the guys that came before us to help us get here.
All right, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for the student athletes. Gentlemen, you're excused. Congratulations and good luck in San Francisco. All right, we'll now open it up for Coach. Let's start in the aisle, and then we'll get you.
Todd, Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. I'm going to ask sort of a similar question. What was different about Walter for the first 30 or so minutes that we haven't seen much of him like that? And then what do you think changed the last 8 to 10 minutes that he played like an All-American?
Yeah, you know, obviously they were bothering him just with some pressure, and I think what he said had some merit in the sense of, you know, just he was making some uncharacteristic mistakes, you know, some turnovers that we haven't seen for a majority of the year. You know, not as strong with the ball as he usually plays with. But what makes Walter so special just is his ability to stay even-keeled regardless of how he's doing, whether it's great or not so great. And you know, his ability to continue to lock in and stay the course. And obviously over the last 8 minutes, I thought he did a great job of just kind of taking what the defense gave him, stepping up. You know, his confidence level never wavers regardless of what's going on, and hitting huge shots that allowed us to capitalize and win the game.
Okay, we're on the edge here, then we're there, and there.
Hey, Todd. Jamie Shaw with On 3. A lot of people are talking about this kind of roster construction and the format of this team and everything. As you were going through the process of putting these pieces together and everything, what were some big things that you were kind of looking for in these players to kind of put this roster together?
Yeah, I mean, backcourt players that can, you know, obviously play out of the ball screen, good catch and shoot guys, good decision makers, and in the front court, guys that you can throw the ball to and let them make some good decisions out of DHO games and understand, you know, how the defense is playing and try to take advantage of it. And our front court is really, really good with the ball in their hands, making reads, making decisions. And we're fortunate enough to really have 5 guys. You know, Sam was a little banged up, and he's coming back, and he was able to do that for us most of the year. But all 5 of those guys are capable of kind of catching the ball in the middle of the floor and making a decent read and a decent decision. You know, our front court's long, athletic. They do a good job. They all play with high motors, and they're all our guys are really intelligent young men that understand how to play the game.
Okay, Cooper on the edge there, and then the front.
Chip Patterson, CBS Sports. You spoke yesterday about your expectation and what you were going to get from UConn, them leaning on their championship pedigree. How did the performance either meet or exceed your expectations from what you saw out there today?
Yeah, I thought it met what we expected. You know, a team that, you know, maybe wasn't at the same level as it had been the last 2 years, but came into March Madness expecting to win games. And as we had said, you know, they had multiple guys. You know, I think a Caravan is an incredible winner, you know, a guy that's won so many games in college. And they had a couple of those guys out there. Giara has won a lot for them. You know, guys that are used to winning at this time. As we said, they've won. You know, they had won 13 games in a row, and they played like it. You know, we got off to a good start. It didn't bother them that much. I thought they played really composed. They ran really good offense. They bothered us a lot that way all game. You know, but credit to our players, because when it was, you know, kind of nut-cutting time, they stepped up and made big plays. And, you know, I think it was more about our guys stepping up and winning the game than, you know, UConn not, you know, pushing through. You know, our guys made big-time winning plays down the stretch.
Okay, front row in the corner.
Coach, Barksnetto locked on UConn. It looked like at the end of the game, Dan and you had an embrace, and it was longer than usual. Can you share anything he said? It almost felt like a passing of the torch, in that respect, where maybe he's wishing you the best. And I'm just curious what you guys talked about.
Coach Hurley and I have great respect for each other. Obviously he sees me as a kind of up-and-coming coach, and probably sees a lot of himself in me in terms of being a fiery competitor and someone who runs a great program and does it the right way. And he was very gracious and very respectful, and gave a great message of, hey, congratulations, I'm pulling for you guys. Let me know if you need anything moving forward. But it meant a lot, and the way that he handled the ending of the game with such graciousness, such grace, I should say. I really appreciate it.
Okay, front row over here, Jaden, and then we're going back, and then you.
You and Coach Hurley are contrasting styles in the way you react during the game.
What's that?
You guys are contrasting styles the way you handle it during the game.
Sometimes.
What was kind of going through your mind as it went? And you obviously have a lot of trust in these guys, but when it was getting kind of a little shaky at times, what was this kind of your message, I guess?
Yeah, it was truth, just to stay the course. We were, and a lot of it had to do with UConn, but we were doing some uncharacteristic things that we simply haven't done, for a long time. We were loose with the ball in the first half. We didn't rebound great. And those are kind of the hallmarks of our program that make us consistent and raise our floor. And again, I thought UConn did a good job bothering us that way. And second half, we got off to a decent start, and then they pull away. I think they got up to 7 and 6, I guess. That was their biggest lead, it says. But they kept it 4, and we just couldn't seem to push through and get on top of them. And we're down by, I think, 2 or 3 at the under 4 media. And again, it was just like, hey, it's now or never, man. If we can't find a way to pull back out in front, over these next few minutes, then we're going home. And we just had some guys step up and make huge winning plays down the stretch. Obviously, what Walter did out of the ball screen, hitting those stop behind threes, but the free throw offensive rebounds, I think Tommy poked one out, or Elijah poked one out to Tommy, and then Tommy, I think, poked one to Elijah where he got that dunk. Those were the 2 big winning plays that I'm pretty sure we'll go back, and when we break down the film, we'll say, all right, these were the 2 instances that allowed us to kind of steal this victory.
Okay, back on the edge here. And gentlemen, I'm afraid this is the last question.
David Hale with ESPN. Todd, after the Norfolk game, you said, I'd rather have not been challenged so much and have your foot on the gas. I wonder, as you talk about taking that next step today, did the way you were challenged by UConn and doing it against them, was this sort of a meaningful, not just the win, but the way that the win happened, meaningful in building that championship pedigree you're trying to create here?
Yeah, I hope so. We stepped up and won a big game when it wasn't necessarily going our way. And our guys have been pretty mentally tough all year. They've done a good job of staying the course and kind of staying level-headed. And we all know the reality. If you're going to make a deep run in March, you got to catch some breaks and you got to win some games like this to be able to push through and stay alive. And theoretically, beating a team like UConn that's used to winning this time of year in the fashion that we did should be really good for us moving forward.
Okay, I'm afraid that's all the time we have. Coach, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck in San Francisco. We should be starting the UConn press conference as soon as I can get